You know, I've played a lot of stealth games throughout my life, and you could probably say it's one of my favorite genres of all time. I've played the Metal Gear Solid series, I've played the Hitman game, Splinter Cell, I mean, you name it, there's a lot of stealth games out there, and I've definitely played them. And of course, there's ones that I haven't played, ones I haven't even heard of. And sure enough, one day when I was on Macari doing my usual retro game shopping, and I happened to found this Vampire Rain, altered species, because there's two different versions. So yeah, you know, looking at the cover of the game on Macari, I was just intrigued to see what it was like. So I looked online, and it happens to be one of the worst rated games of its time. So of course that piqued my interest. Vampire Rain was developed by a company named Arttoon, who was responsible for the Blinks games and apparently Yoshi's Island for the DS? The game was also published by AQ Interactive, who's also responsible for publishing the Japanese version of Ju-On the Grudge, but then was later released by Xseed Games in North America. I'm not even gonna bother naming all the other games because there's stuff that I haven't even heard of, and there's probably stuff you haven't even heard of either, so what's the point? And just by looking at the scores, both critic and user, you can tell that this game was gonna be bad. Now, usually when there's a bad game, there are some times where a bad game can actually be a really fun game. So I just wanted to see for myself if this was one of those games. And so I went ahead and bought it out of pure curiosity. And you're probably wondering, what's the difference between this one and the 360 version? Well, the difference is that this came out a year later after the release on the 360, and you're probably wondering, what's so different? Nothing really. It mostly just for the multiplayer, I guess, but I still went ahead and bought this one, so I can't go back. I mean, I do like getting the more rare stuff, so I'm not kidding, by the way. This costed me almost $30, and the other one for the 360, you can get it like anywhere for like $8, so yeah. But I myself am someone who loves to find out for themselves if a game is good or bad. So that's what I am here to tell you. When you first start the game, you actually get this surprisingly good intro. The intro is very dark and eerie, and you kind of get this sense of a lot of horror going on, and it just makes you feel like that this is what the game's really gonna be. And going into it at first, it was getting me really hooked. To give context on what the game is about, it starts off with two apparently natural-born vampires from 1430.
It's been 800 years since I last met a vampire created by nature, not a bite. Do not fear me. I am like you, a natural vampire. What is your name, child?
Monique.
Now in the present time, there have been reports that Nightwalkers... Wait. Nightwalkers? What is this, the fucking Walking Dead? This doofus called themselves vampires, but now it's Nightwalkers? Okay, alright. So there have been reports that Nightwalkers are to exceed human population in 908 days, and that makes the big boss man super mad.
That's what happens when you let pencil pushers run a country.
After throwing a temper tantrum, we are then presented with the extermination team, which we are also presented to our main character, Lloyd. His name is Lloyd. And alongside him are Harrison, who is the lead of this operation, Kelly, who's a sniper, and Hanson, who is the nerd. Together as a team, they are there on a mission to exterminate the Prime Walker, which by doing so will eliminate every other Nightwalker in the vicinity. And with a team like this, what could possibly go wrong? Which now brings us to the gameplay, and oh boy, this is, yeah, okay. What the hell? Oh wait, that's just how the game looks. I thought there was shit on my screen. I mean, honestly, it's pretty baffling how bad this game looks. But aside from the graphics, how is the gameplay? So here's the thing about the controls. When you first pick up the controller and then you move around and then you start doing the stealth mechanics, I mean, you start to realize this is a lot similar to Splinter Cell. You know, I get when a developer has inspiration from any kind of gaming franchise, but did it work for this game? Nope, it didn't. Like I said before, they wanted to be exactly like Splinter Cell, so they literally ripped off most mechanics from the game. I mean, it is embarrassing how obvious that is. Now the question you're probably asking is, did they do it better? No, they didn't.
Lloyd, blow out the lock with your sidearm. The silencer will kill the sound of the shot, but not the bullet's impact. The best you can do is make sure there's nobody around to hear the bullet hit.
They've got a laser security grid online in the courtyard. So I stay. I'm under fire!
Just make sure there's nobody around to hear the bullet hit.
Yeah. Just like every stealth game out there, Vampire Rain also has night vision. It's fucking useless. I mean, seriously, the areas are already too lit enough. I mean, you don't even need them. You can just stroll on through without it the whole game because there's no areas that make it too dark. It's such a useless mechanic to have. I mean, seriously. At least at Splinter Cell, you couldn't actually see shit. You needed the night vision goggles like literally 90% of the game because, you know, maybe it's cause it's dark. I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there. I don't fucking know. I'm sorry. What? Basically, the entire premise of this game is don't get caught or die. That is literally the best way I could describe it. Once you're caught in this game, there is literally no going back, because as soon as they see you, you are going to die instantly. There is literally no way of getting out of the alert status. The only time I've managed to actually kill a Nightwalker was when I was at a good distance from them, but even that doesn't save you, because you also run into problems like running out of ammo. So good luck trying to kill multiple enemies, because once you're out of ammo, you're fucked. The only other times I'm able to actually kill a few is when I'm with my team, making the encounters so much more easier. And let's think about this for a moment, because in most stealth games, getting caught isn't really the end, because you can mostly just fight your way out of encounters. I mean, that's basic stealth game 101. But clearly, the developer's mindset was like, why make the game easy like that? Why make it fun? Just let them kill you with 2 hits. Yeah, that sounds perfect. Oh, what's that? You want to have fun? Well, too bad! At some point during my playthrough, I changed the difficulty from normal to hard just to notice if there was a difference, and there really wasn't. I mean, the difficulty is such a joke. Now I know what you're going to say. But STARR, they're vampires. How could you expect to kill them so easily? Listen here, Buster. If Sam and Dean can decapitate a vampire's head in a matter of seconds, then why can't I kill them easily? If we are a trained espionage team to stealthily go around trying to kill a Prime Walker, then why the hell can I not kill the normal enemies? I mean, this should be something I should be able to do. Now, this is not really explained, but let's pretend here that we are using silver bullets. How come it can't kill a simple Nightwalker? I mean, honestly, if these are just people that are lower than a Prime Walker, then you should be able to kill them with ease. I mean, you get such a large variety of weapons, and only a few of them work effectively, and you'll see more about what I mean when I explain the story. And I'm sure if they were using silver bullets, they would be able to just use this gun with the silver bullets in them, point it to their head, and just shoot them. But no, the game doesn't want you to do that. The game just wants you to instead just hide away like a little girl and just go around them. But where's the fun in that? I want to kill shit, damn it! You know, you'd think they show you some kind of weakness to these enemies, but the thing is that they don't have a weakness. You know, later on, they do give you better weapons to use against them, but you'll see more of that in a bit. So as I've explained before, the extermination team is there to eliminate the Prime Walker, because doing so will eliminate all the other Nightwalkers in that city. But here's the thing. The recon team that was with them had gone dark, so they had to go out searching for them. While debriefing about the mission, we are then presented with backstory about Lloyd, if you could even call it that. Basically, Lloyd is a survivor of this raid that he was in like years ago, but it's never explicitly explained what that raid was and how he got there, how he survived, and literally none of that was explained. So don't expect the game to explain it, because it won't. While out and about looking for the recon team, Harrison notices this symbol on a wall.
Blood. If that's blood, the rain would have washed it away.
Yeah. But the blood's been mixed with a hardener.
Hardener? What kind of hardener?
Do you really want to know?
What do you think they use to harden the blood? Oh, you sick bastards!
These markings, they look like the astrological symbols for the sun and the moon.
It just literally looks like a 4-year-old drew dick and balls. I mean, how the hell does that look like a sun and moon? After talking about the dick drawing, we then get to the recon team's rendezvous point, and just as expected, they're not there. Afterwards, we are then receiving a call from Crybaby Dixon, who is the big guy from the beginning, and he is basically telling us that we are on our own and to go fuck ourselves. And the only way to reach the recon team is by destroying the Nightwalker's comms facility. Which also means we have to backtrack all the way to Hansen to get the EMP device. As we're backtracking to Hansen, we then encounter our first Nightwalker. And then we are presented to our first sneaking mechanic. Shooting birds. The bullet's impact won't distract the enemies, but apparently shooting around the birds will. Got it. Continuing on our objective, we are then presented to this little girl. There's no context on who she is right now, but it's clear that Lloyd obviously knows who this little girl is. But we'll get into that more as the video goes. After finally meeting up with Hansen and getting the EMP device, we are then presented to our first fighting encounter.
Lloyd! Give Lloyd some cover!
Like I said, it is so much easier when you have a full team with you. After finally reaching the comms facility, we then have to sneak past the Nightwalkers. And what I mean by that is just basically climbing over the rooftops and reaching the antenna. That's literally it. After destroying the comms facility, we now have a clue of where the recon team might be. As the search continues for the recon team, we are then presented to this scene. If it wasn't obvious already, yes, the acting is quite that bad. And don't get me wrong, the cutscenes aren't that bad, because you're not playing the game at those times. But when you do watch the cutscenes, you can tell there's zero effort put into them. After the intro, the cutscenes aren't even CGI anymore. They just use in-game cutscenes, which just looks really bad. If that wasn't enough, here's some interactions with the Nightwalkers.
I'm not kidding.
Stop bothering me.
Heading somewhere? I'm going to interrogate that woman we captured. In that case, take the truck. I've got a package that has to go out there. Do I look like a delivery boy? All right, give me the package. But we don't have much time. Someone's in a hurry.
Look at that. It's really pouring.
I heard it's gonna rain until morning.
Sure hope it stops raining by morning.
That's what they said on TV.
If it keeps raining like this, I'll go out of business.
I love the night. I hate the rain. The night air is heavy and sweet. But I hate the rain.
As we continue to progress in the game, we are then presented to a sniper section. And this is when the game starts getting easy. Back when I was telling you when the game was hard, that's when you were using an AR and a shitty pistol. Once you get your hands on a sniper, that's when shit actually starts getting fun. And your sniper shots are so deadly that none of the enemies even notice that their friends are getting killed. Another weapon that grants you a one-shot kill is also the shotgun, therefore making it even easier. The problem is that you're not given these weapons all the time, so you're always going to use the AR and the pistol, which both very much suck. After still looking for the recon team, we eventually found them, but it turns out they're all dead, except for Harrison's longtime friend Eric. But then it turns out he was actually a Nightwalker.
Eric, your pulse and temp hit rock bottom. If you were human, you never could have walked. Forget standing on your own.
Captain.
He was a good friend, a good husband, with a lovely wife waiting for him at home.
I know this should be somewhat of an emotional scene, but the voice acting just ruins it. You know, in the beginning, he did talk about how him and Eric were friends, but all we know is that they fought together. That's literally it. They didn't give any context to their friendship, making the whole death scene very emotionless. Also, can we talk about the fact that Kelly was literally able to headshot a Nightwalker with a pistol? How the fuck can she do that and I can't? After the tragic events of the recon team, you'd think that'd be it for the extermination team. You'd think they'd just call it quits and just head back home and say fuck it. Without them, this shit's gone south. Let's just go back. But nope. The big shot crybaby calls back and is basically saying, "You're not going back until I tell you to go back, damn it!" And so with no reinforcements, no backup, no nothing, they have to continue on with just themselves. Totally makes sense. But in order to do that, we have to go on a whole mission to find ammo. Find ammo? What the hell are you talking about? I haven't been able to shoot a shot since 6 missions ago. What the hell do you mean find ammo? So what, all the fucking ammo I've been picking up everywhere and I've been saving just doesn't carry over? What the hell is that? It's okay, guys, because the one thing that will carry us over is a UV knife, baby! Hell yeah! Oh, don't worry, because that requires ammo too. So another thing this UV knife introduces is that you can use your necrovision, and by using that, you can find these Nightwalkers called parent Nightwalkers, and apparently taking that Nightwalker out will destroy all the other Nightwalkers around them. But wait, I thought killing the Prime Walker was going to kill all the other Nightwalkers. It just doesn't make any sense! You know, why are they called parent Nightwalkers? Are they even related? Because none of them I can see look related at all! So apparently the advanced recon team left a weapons cache in this abandoned hotel, and you guessed it, there's Nightwalkers crawling around it. So that means more sneaking around. And I know I say that as if it's a bad thing, considering that it's a stealth game and all, but it's just so bad at doing stealth that you literally have no freedom to do anything with the mission unless you have a UV knife or a shotgun and sniper. At least in Metal Gear Solid 4, I had the freedom to do whatever I wanted. I could distract enemies by throwing empty mags. I can customize any of my weapons. Use C4, hide in a box. I could even use a drum and roll around in it and knock down my enemies. Because that's what this game has versus Vampire Reign. Variety. Because this game has none. And this game came out a few months after Metal Gear Solid 4. So after finding the weapons cache and escaping the hotel, we finally have the means to kill the Prime Walker.
Bring him on.
Don't go blasting left and right with that thing.
Yeah, Kelly, or else I'm gonna have to find some more ammo, damn it! We find the Prime Walker at a nightclub, because why not? And we are presented to our first ever boss fight. Stone Cold Steve Austin. His name is actually Edward, because this is an alternate universe to Twilight, where Edward loses Bella, and he becomes one of the biggest enemies of the game, and takes over a whole city and turns them into vampires because he lost his fucking mind and wants to kill everyone. And became a part of a biker gang who is actually also a big drug lord. And I know what you're thinking. He must be harder than the regular enemies themselves. You couldn't have been more wrong, because he is one of the easiest fights throughout this whole game. Literally, the way you defeat him is make him walk on these stun mines and then shoot him. That's it. That's the fight. The thing that makes this fight so easy is because he literally moves so slow, like he's trying to hold one of the biggest shits in history. Oh, but watch out for his second phase, because he just shit himself, and he's mad that you made him soil himself, and now he just speedwalks. That's it. You wanna know something funny? That's him on the cover of the game. Yeah. I'm sorry, if your normal base enemies are stronger than your boss fights, that is very bad game design. I mean, can you understand the pain and frustration I had went through this entire game, and this is the boss fight? Really? Just a quick compilation of the deaths I have endured before this boss fight. This douchebag didn't even have any lines. He just shows up, and then you fight him. That's literally it. After killing Edward, you think that's it. But guess what? Turns out he wasn't the only Prime Walker. Who would have guessed it? It turns out there's actually 3 more you have to fight. Gimpy Boy, a whore, and Bully McGuire. This is Peter if he left the black suit on. So what this basically means is that we have to find them and also kill them. Fun! So without boring you guys with the details of the rest of the game, basically you're just doing the same thing over and over again. Sneaking through facilities, then finding the next boss. So here's a quick summary of the rest of the story. So we get more backstory of Lloyd, and oh, what do you know, it's the little girl from the beginning. Oh, and it's Gimpy Boy. So it turns out he's the reason why his team got killed, because he murdered them all. But yet nothing was explained on what the raid was. So we're just left clueless on everything. And this is the last time we get backstory of Lloyd. That is literally it. You're probably thinking, is that Monique from the beginning? It's actually not. This is literally just some random girl that was apparently in the raid that Lloyd was a part of. But again, we know nothing about who she is or why she was there. All we know is that she just plays this big significance in Lloyd's life, but nothing is explained. False, because when I was editing this video, I actually found out who she is. She is actually Professor Foley's daughter, which you're about to find out more in a second here. But I just want to point this out, that there's literally still nothing explained about her throughout this game. And you'll see more of her, but again, nothing is explained. Her significance is unknown, so you still know nothing. Afterwards, our next objective is to find Professor Foley, who has been abducted by the Nightwalkers apparently during that raid. And so we go to rescue him to find out more about the Nightwalkers. And apparently the Prime Walkers are actually called the Elite Walkers. And then there's this.
The Nightwalker threat? And what do you think they are? Modern-day vampires?
Are you saying they're not?
Absolutely. Well, probably not. I can't really say. And I believe the walkers don't know themselves. Since my abduction, they've had me doing research to help them find out what they are.
What do you mean they don't know who they are? How would they not know who they are? They obviously know who they are. The guy at the beginning knew who they were. So the other guys obviously know who they are. I mean, what's the point of even questioning it and trying to research something that they already know? And so he starts to explain that there can only be one conclusion, but before he says anything about that conclusion, we help him escape. And then we're on to our second boss fight. What the hell is he trying to be, Ripperoo? So just like the last boss fight, this one was easy as well. All you had to do was run around this maze of a warehouse and then drop a container on him. That's it. That's the fight. After defeating Gimpy Boy, the subject of the conclusion is brought back.
Yes, there's only one possible conclusion.
I've been thinking about that, but I haven't come up with a suitable answer. Don't you need one more condition to arrive at your conclusion?
Yes, as I mentioned, it's only a theory. It's too early to make any definite conclusion.
So after no conclusion, we are then presented with a mission to find the advanced team's data disk that was left behind. And after grabbing the advanced team's data disk, we are then presented with another mission where there are bombs all over the city, and so we have to go around and disarm every single bomb. After disarming all the bombs, we find out that Hansen had been killed. Tragic. After Hansen's death, we go to Safe Zone B, and then we are jumped by these guys. And suddenly the game got easier because these guys are nothing compared to the regular Nightwalkers themselves. Now this is something I wish they rather did than have just regular civilian Nightwalkers, because they made them way too hard, and this is actually the point in the game where I actually found a little bit of enjoyment. But even so, it's just plain gameplay. You're just shooting people. There's no stealth in this. But, and also, like, you can't even stealth kill enemies regularly. You have to use the stupid knife every time. So there's literally no way to actually stealth kill enemies in this. So even if they did have the enemies with guns, I mean, would that have been the only way to kill them? Because you can't headshot enemies. You can't be creative. There's no way to be creative. You just have to either ignore them or just use the knife. But again, what's the point? So after fighting our way through, we actually find out that they were actually using the AIB's equipment. So we go to the advanced team's vehicle to find out who exactly they are, but it turns out all their access to the AIB has been cut, making the whole thing with the AIB really, really shady. But then the whore arrives, and then she explains that the AIB was actually working with them the whole time, and that they were informed of the extermination's presence. And continues to talk about the cycle of the sun and moon, which is referring to the dick drawing that you saw before. And so the next boss fight starts, which is just plain sniper. That's pretty much it. This boss fight, however, took a lot more than it did for the other boss fights, but it was still pretty easy nonetheless. After defeating Margaret, hey look, it's the guy from the beginning, and oh, his name's Hessler. So it turns out he's actually the main villain of this story. Monique is also there, all grown up. So Barry Maguire tells Hessler that they have to continue on with the sun and moon cycle, which we still don't know about. We don't know what it is. So continuing on with what's left of the extermination team, we go to the Nightwalker's transmitter and destroy it and steal all their weapons. After destroying the transmitter and receiving the weapons, we then find out that Kelly is actually a traitor!
What are you doing?
I'm sure you have a fair idea.
So Dixon had one of his lackeys in my team. He really wants to start a war with the Nightwalkers, doesn't he? And he doesn't care how many lives it might cost.
The government fears a full-scale war. Every year, thousands of citizens disappear. but the government turns its cheek. Colonel Dixon can't tolerate the existence of the Nightwalkers.
War between the U.S. and the Nightwalkers might mean casualties in the millions.
That's right. And you'll be the one who started it all. An assault team led directly by the Colonel will soon be going for the last Prime Walker. I guess they found the Walker before we did.
Is it the same team we faced off against?
It's the main force. A team of pseudo-walkers jointly developed by the AIB and ODC lab boys. They'll get the job done. And when they do, neither the government nor the AIB will be able to stop all-out war.
Did Dixon plan this all along?
No. He schemed it when you found out there was more than one Prime Walker in the city.
So, he took advantage of a glitch in the operation.
Sorry it has to end like this. We made a good team. I even regret killing poor Hansen.
How the hell does that make any sense? What doesn't make sense is that we've already killed 3 of the elite walkers, so how the hell has an all-out war not started? And how is it not started when they literally killed everybody in a fucking town? What the hell does any of this mean? And so our next objective is to stop the AIB from killing the last Prime Walker, but then as you see here, our next objective is to kill the last Prime Walker! So continuing on, oh look at that! Looks like the war's already started, look at that! They're all fighting each other, so what the fuck? So as we fire away through the AIB and the Nightwalkers, we finally get to Bully Maguire. He goes on another spiel about the sun and moon, and then it starts raining blood. Why? Because of the sun and moon cycle, I guess. Who fucking knows? And so we fight Bully Maguire, and oh, what do you know? Another sniping boss fight, cause why not? After killing Bully Maguire, oh wait, here's another plot twist.
Like my dental work? Yeah, a Nightwalker bit me when I was delivering Foley. I was afraid I would live the rest of my life as a Nightwalker. Thanks, Lloyd. Do me a favor. Tell my family I died as a man.
So after all that bullshit, Monique shows up and then tells us that Hessler wants to speak to us, but there's some confusion. Why is she not dead? But it's probably because they're both natural vampires. But what I don't also understand is that they all went on this whole fucking spiel about killing the last Prime Walker would start an all-out war, but it turns out they all fucking died anyway, so what was the fucking point? As Monique is taking us to Hessler, Lloyd explains that he's just gonna kill him anyway, so that pisses off Monique, and now we are on to our final boss fight. More sniping! Except this time she's an annoying bitch that jumps around everywhere and throws fucking knives at you! So after killing Monique, we finally meet Hessler, the one who ruled them all, and now we are presented to a final choice. You can either kill this prick, or you can leave him alive. At first, I did the logical thing that I thought would make sense.
Finally, it ends.
So after killing Hessler, Crybaby's aide calls us and tells us that everybody involved in the operation has been arrested. And Mr. Big Shot Crybaby suffered a coronary. Tragic. But wait, the little girl is there? Wait, what the fuck is going on here? What the fuck just happened? So what? He just comes back to life? Was this the cliffhanger? What the fuck just happened? And how did she even do that? I thought she was the professor's daughter. What the fuck significance does she play? Okay, what happens if I don't kill him? What does any of this mean? Well, that's pretty much the whole game. It's just a bunch of bullshit. It's clear they didn't know what direction they wanted the story to go at. So they just, near the end, they threw a bunch of fucking plot twists and just literally nothing went anywhere. It was all confusing. The whole fucking starting a war, but yet the Nightwalkers died anyways. It was just all so confusing, and it just didn't make sense. And you know, the game's concept is nothing that I want to complain about, because it does sound like a good concept, but it just executed so poorly. You can tell that things were rushed, and they did put no thought into the combat whatsoever, making the experience frustrating because of the amount of times you died, and you just can't help but think that, you know, you just never want to touch this again, because there's no replayability to this. I mean, there are bonus levels in the game that you can do, but then again, what's the point of playing those? I mean, you're just essentially replaying the game when you already had a frustrating time with it. And plus, I mean, there are collectibles throughout the game, but again, the only thing those collectibles do is just give you some concept art and some other things. That's pretty much it. Artone, if it were up to me, man, just stick with the Yoshi games. That's where you're good at.